Chapter 781 Asking for it? No, no issue. The weather is hot and food turns bad easily. It's better to clean up as soon as possible. It will prevent the floor from being slippery too. If the food turns bad, the smell won't be good. The doctor smiled gently and consoled Xiao Dongliang instead. He asked Xiao Dongliang not to be anxious. They would not take issue with this. Anyway, they were not the ones who painstakingly prepared that bowl of porridge toppled by the patient. When the doctor was checking on Ding Jiyi's medical condition, Xiao Dongliang, a 1.8-meter tall grown-up man, did not display any signs of bad temper at all. He was enduring all the hardship and cleaning up the porridge spilled by Ding Jiyi bit by bit with the broom provided by the hospital. The porridge cooked by Jiaonan was good. It was extremely fragrant and thick. However, the more the porridge was as such, the more difficult it was to clean it up. Xiao Dongliang was not good at household chores. Hence, he took some time to clean up. At the sight of such a good man like Xiao Dongliang, both the doctor and nurses were filled with awe. As a male, the doctor could not help putting in good words for Xiao Dongliang and Jiaonan. Actually, the patient's mood affects the recovery time. One has to be contented. When your mood improves, your illness will recover more quickly. You'll then be discharged earlier. That surgery of yours alone spent a lot of money. The wife had a car accident and had to spend a big sum of money. The husband also did not hesitate to fork out the money to treat his wife's condition. As a grown-up man, although he was quiet, he had been guarding his wife silently by her side. This was already the 4th day. Where could you find a husband who was willing to do all these in the world? One had to be contented and know how to count her blessings. Ding Jiyi pulled a long face. It was only when the doctor and nurses left did she ask. Did you do that on purpose just now? He deliberately came back so late. He deliberately waited for the doctor to do his rounds before coming back to the ward. He then cleaned up the porridge that she had spilled on the floor bit by bit in front of the doctor and nurses. Having been a married couple for 20 years, this was the first time Ding Jiyi realized that Xiao Dongliang could be such a scheming man when he was serious about being so. He was so scary. She had been plotted against. Her reputation had been totally ruined. It was only then that she realized that she had been tricked by Xiao Dongliang. Xiao Dongliang put away the broom and wiped the sweat on his forehead. He then replied nonchalantly, Nan Nan and I have been taken in by you both so many times. We have been plotted against so many times. If we don't improve, I'll be ashamed to call myself a soldier. No matter what, I still need your cooperation in this. Ding Jiyi's words were too maligning. The two had been a married couple for so long. If Xiao Dongliang was so scheming, would Ding Jiyi still be able to take all the family savings to enroll Xiao Zijin in the high school affiliated to Renmin University of China? Furthermore, he only found out about it half a year after it had happened. If Ding Jiyi had not acted up and insisted on finding fault with Jiaonan, treated Jiaonan like a slave and bossily ordered Jiaonan to prepare many things furthermore. They were things without monetary gains and only monetary loss. The idea of conveniently making use of this matter would not have flashed in Xiao Dongliang's mind. The more arrogant Ding Jiyi was, the more hard-hearted Xiao Dongliang became. The doctors in this hospital are really skillful. It has just been 4 days and your spirits are already so good. I feel more at ease now. In about 1 month's time at least, when Nan Nan was pursuing her college studies, he could completely settle his marriage problems with Ding Jiyi. Without the burden of being related to her, he believed that Nan Nan would certainly be able to focus more on her studies. Ding Jiyi was panting with anger. Given this attitude of Xiao Dongliang, she knew that Xiao Dongliang would definitely not pass her earlier message to Jiaonan or request Jiaonan to do as she said. She could not understand. Why was it that other people's husband doted on their wives so much but this wooden block in her family doted on her child more than his wife? After about half an hour, Ding Jiyi's tummy started growling continuously as if it was drumming. Old Chiao, I am hungry. Chiao Dongliang lifted his eyelids. Do you think you'll have things to eat when you wish for them? There's definitely nothing, not even slag, left in the hospital's canteen at this hour. The food in the hospital was not tasty, but there were never leftovers. Ding Jiyi could no longer endure the hunger. She could not care less about the weird and mocking tone of Chiao Dongliang. The canteen is not the only place that sells food in the hospital. I'm fine with whatever you buy back for me. I'm hungry. If she still did not eat, she would be starving badly soon. Chiao Dongliang slanted his eyes and looked at Ding Jiyi. The food in the hospital is expensive. It's not that you don't know. If you wish to have something to eat, fine, give me the money. Ding Jiyi gave a glare. We're husband and wife. Do you still need to ask me for money when you buy some food for me? Old Chiao, there's really only money on your mind. Now, all the money that I have earned had been spent by you. I'm penniless. I don't have a choice either. Then, what about the money that you have earned in recent years? Doesn't your hospitalization this time cost money? Will the hospital operate on you and feed you medicine at no cost? Ding Jiyi was panting with anger. Didn't you say that all the money spent on my hospitalization was borrowed by that wretched Chiao Nan? Then, the money that old Chiao had earned during the past 2 years should still be in his own pocket. You're really good. The money spent on your hospitalization was all borrowed from others, and you guard the money in your own pocket badly. With your borrowing habits, why don't you go and borrow and see how many people will be willing to lend you money? Chiao Dongliang could not understand what he saw in Ding Jiyi many years ago, that he even married this woman. Although his qualities were not very good previously, it was not like there were no other women who were willing to be with him besides Ding Jiyi. He had used half of his lifetime to learn that he had to look for character and not superficial qualities in a woman. Ding Jiyi, who was starving, did not even have the energy to be angry. Then, tell me, what to do? I'm really very hungry. What to do? Chiao Dongliang smirked. Don't you have 2 daughters? Nan Nan has delivered 1 meal. If you really want to have some rice, you can pray silently that that elder daughter of yours is really as good as you made her out to be. No, she's better than Nan Nan. Nan Nan sent you some plain porridge. If you wish to have some shredded chicken porridge, you will certainly be able to get them from Chiao Zaijian. Of course, if Chiao Zaijian doesn't deliver it here, you can wait a few more hours and look forward to the meal at dinner time. Even if Nan Nan is not good and can't care much about the taste of the dishes, she will still ensure that the quantity is met. When Chiao Dongliang behaved in this way, Ding Jiyi had no choice. Instead, she was at the beck and call of Chiao Dongliang. At this juncture, Chiao Dongliang then understood that he was the one who indulged Ding Jiyi and condoned her ill-disciplined, blatant, arrogant, and domineering manners in the past. One would only create troubles in 2 kinds of situations. First, they were too full after having eaten their fill. Second, they had nothing to eat and were dying of hunger, so they had to create a nuisance for the sake of survival. Having missed 2 meals, Ding Jiyi was as listless as a frosted eggplant. When it was mealtime at 6 o'clock in the evening and Chiao Nan asked the young nurse to help deliver the food to the ward, Ding Jiyi took the spoon and started to eat the plain porridge without a word as soon as Chiao Dongliang placed it before her. It was so delightful and fragrant. Chapter 782 nurtured a top student in middle school examination. It was human nature not to know what was good for oneself. She deserved it. Chiao Nan, who had been staying in the house of the Shi family and studying English, was not aware of all these happenings at the hospital. She further did not know that her fickle-minded father could, in fact, be so awesome when he set his heart out to do something. She was quietly reading in the house of the Shi family and waiting for the results of the college entrance examination. There were still 10 days before the results of the college entrance examination would be out. Nevertheless, The middle school examination results of the third-year junior high school students whom she had previously given tuition to were already announced. Suddenly, without prior warning, the loud sound of firecrackers could be heard coming from the entrance of the house of the Shi family. Xiao Nan jumped in shock and the English dictionary that she was holding dropped to the floor. The entrance of your house. Xiao Nan looked at Shi Qing. Shi Qing shrugged. Impossible. My dad is the type who works behind the scene. He's not into such fanfare. Lei Feng not leaving a name behind even after doing a good deed. Right. Shi Qing clapped. So, these firecrackers are most likely set off at another house and not mine. Don't need to bother. Xiao Nan picked up the dictionary. She wanted to continue reading it, but she felt that the noise of the firecrackers was too close to them. I think something is not right. Shi Qing, why don't you take a look at the entrance? When are they going to finish setting off these firecrackers? It's too disturbing. Okay. With Xiao Nan's company, Shi Qing was more inclined to stay at home. She had transformed into a young lady from a fake lad. Ah, Xiao Nan, quickly come and see. It's not at the entrance of my house but yours. Those people look quite familiar. That young one is probably one of the students that you have taught. Ah. Xiao Nan was dumbfounded. She stood up and walked out to take a look. Was that so? Teacher Xiao Jiao. The child was more sharp-eyed than adults. As soon as the young boy turned, he saw his own young teacher at the entrance of the house of the Shi family. Teacher Xiao Jiao, the results of my middle school examination are out. Ah. Judging from what I see, you must have done well. Xiao Nan looked at the boy smilingly. Congratulations to you for faring so well. With this, you will be able to enroll in your favorite high school, the high school affiliated to Renmin University of China. The boy shook his head. Teacher Xiao Jiao, I've changed my aspirations. 1 year ago, I was foolish. Now, I don't want to study at the high school affiliated to Renmin University of China anymore. I wish to study at Pingcheng High School. With this, he would then be considered as schoolmates with teacher Xiao Jiao. Xiao Nan raised her brows. Was this due to her influence? After thinking, Xiao Nan then said, this is your own life. Of course, you can decide for yourself. However, you can't choose to ignore your parents' opinions at times. You have to listen to them and respect your parents. Don't you think so? Although the results of Pingcheng High School were much better than those of the high school affiliated to Renmin University of China last year, it was just for that one time. Hence, the high school affiliated to Renmin University of China was still the best school in Pingcheng and the top-tier high school in the province. If the student were to study at Pingcheng High School and give up studying at the high school affiliated to Renmin University of China due to her influence, his parents might feel resentful. Xiao Nan expressed that she could not afford to have this happen. Ha ha ha, don't worry, teacher Xiao Jiao. As parents, we're actually very open-minded. As long as the child has considered seriously and knows what he wants, as long as he's not making a decision out of impulse, we, as parents, certainly have to respect their opinion. No. The parent of the child was immediately smiling like flowers. That bright and dazzling look nearly made Xiao Nan unable to open her eyes. Shi Qing walked out curiously. What kind of results did this child obtain in the middle school examination that could make the child's parents give up the top school in Pingcheng, the high school affiliated to Renmin University of China, and let him willfully study at Pingcheng High School instead? May I ask how your child fared in the middle school examination this time? He's the top in Pingcheng. The child's father was all smiles. Excluding the time when he was promoted to a father, from the time that he was born, he had never been in so much limelight. Top student in Pingcheng? That's such a great improvement. Xiao Nan was well aware of the grades of her own student. Previously, this student was the one whose grades improved most rapidly. He even ranked first in the class and 8th in the cohort during the preliminary examination. With such grades, it was certainly not difficult to get into Pingcheng High School. It was also not difficult to get into the high school affiliated to Renmin University of China if he were to be more conscientious during the examination. However, to Jiaonan, ranking first in the whole of Pingcheng was something unexpected. Congratulations! You have worked very hard during this period. Although I didn't teach you for that long, I am very proud of you. Nevertheless, when you attend high school, you must remember to maintain the same learning habits. Learn humbly. Don't let your own ego be inflated and forget what your surname is. If you really can't do that, return to your junior high school and ask for all the formal examination papers that you have taken during the past 3 years. Store them away properly. When you feel that you are feeling a little light in your head, take them out and flip and read it. There were many intelligent students, but also many more were becoming complacent and arrogant because of the good grades that they had attained. Once this situation occurred, the originally good grades would slip and it would be difficult to revert. After all, the up and down changes were not only the grades but also the sensitive self-esteem of a teenager in his adolescence. Teacher Xiaojiao, don't worry. I remember all that you have taught me previously. I've also written down some of the words. Before the middle school examination, I read through your words. I was thus able to quiet down and revise. Teacher Xiaojiao, thank you. I was not nervous at all during middle school examination. My brains were extremely alert. If not, I wouldn't be able to fare so well during the examination. Teacher Xiaojiao, thank you. Really, thank you so much. It was not just the parents of the students. Even the boy did not expect that he would be the top student in Pingcheng one day, and it was for the middle school examination. When he came in 8th in the cohort previously, he believed that was his greatest limit of achievement. After he read through Teacher Xiaojiao's words, he relaxed his mood during the middle school examination, made himself feel less nervous, and did not give himself so much pressure. He only quietly told himself that it was also to maintain his current grades. Who would have expected that, in the end, he had not only attained top in the cohort but also top in Pingcheng? When he first knew about this, the boy was so elated that he almost cried. His previous grades were only above average. He had never been a teacher's pet. It was only until he joined Jiaonan's vacation class that his status in the teacher's heart started to rise. He finally knew how it felt like to be an outstanding student in the class. At the thought that the school had a huge banner with his name printed on it when he went to receive his report card today, the boy felt so emotional that he didn't know what to say. Tears welled up in his eyes. He felt embarrassed as he stubbornly sniffed. Teacher Xiaojiao, I feel that the most correct thing I have done in my life is to learn from you during the summer vacation last year. Lei Feng was a soldier in the People's Liberation Army and is a communist legend in China. After his death, he was characterized as a selfless and modest person devoted to the Communist Party, Mao Zedong, and the people of China. Chapter 783 received a pile of red packets. It was the 3rd year of his studies in junior high school. It was only until the first semester that his grades started to improve tremendously. He had to thank Teacher Xiaojiao for it. If he had not met Teacher Xiaojiao, he dared to say with certainty that he would not achieve such grades today regardless of how well he performed on his own. At the sight of the boy's attitude, Jiaonan was at a loss of what to do. Don't say that. You have achieved such grades because you have worked hard. Your junior high school teachers had also put in a lot of effort during the past 3 years. Such good grades are hard to come by. Remember to go back to school and thank the subject teachers who taught you during your 3 years of studies. It was rare that they had nurtured a top student in Pingcheng. If all the credit were to go to someone else, Jiaonan knew that the teachers from the student's junior high school would vomit blood due to anger. Teacher Xiaojiao, don't worry. As parents, we know what to do regarding this. The father proudly patted the shoulders of his son, who was almost as tall as him now. The son could achieve such good grades. Of course, they could not allow him to choose his high school without careful consideration. Treating the teachers to meals for taking care of his son during the past 3 years was not a big deal. It was just a small matter. If he was happy and willing, he could not wait to arrange a banquet to tell everyone he knew that his son was Ping Cheng's top student during the middle school examination. Teacher Xiaojiao, thank you. We must really thank you. The student's mother sounded more sincere. To put it bluntly, I was just following the crowd in the past. I did not expect that the outcome would be so good. The child's mother stuffed a pile of things into Qiaonan's arms. Teacher Xiaojiao, take these foodstuffs. Treat it as a form of appreciation from our child and us, parents. Teacher Xiaojiao did not claim all the credit. She even mentioned the teachers from the junior high school of her son. It was rare as Teacher Xiaojiao was only 2 years older than his son. It was no wonder that each time his son mentioned Qiaonan, who, in fact, could be his elder sister since she was older than him by 2 years, he would respectfully address her as Teacher Xiaojiao. It was as if he was referring to his idol. In one's lifetime, it was extremely important to have a mentor who could guide and lead you in the right direction. No need. No need to be so polite. It's due to his own hard work that he had done well. In front of so many people, Qiaonan was also embarrassed to accept all these gifts. Furthermore, she had accepted quite a lot of them during the Lunar New Year last year. Many families behaved this way. Each time their child took an examination and improved in their grades, they would send gifts to her house. She was obviously paid to provide tuition for the children. It was a form of trade. If she were to take so many things from them, Qiaonan felt that she was not being very ethical. Don't, you have to. You have to. The parents were so enthusiastic. Qiaonan could not even reject them. In the end, the parents simply said that they had to go to school to thank the child's other teachers and could not stay longer. As for the gifts, they simply piled them up at the entrance of the Shi family and ran off. Sigh. Qiaonan waved her hand with all her might to get them to come back, but it was too late. The results for the middle school examination were out, and it was not just one person who received the results. Hence, the small courtyard was extraordinarily lively today. In particular, the entrance of the house of the Shi family was so crowded. That family earlier seemed to have set the stage with an opening performance for today's show. The number of people who came to thank Qiaonan was streaming in continuously, forming long queues. One by one, all the families of the children who had been taught by Qiaonan during the past 1.5 years visited her. It was only when the sun was setting in the late afternoon did the entrance of the Shi family quiet down. They had finally sent off everyone. Shi Qing, who was already considered a strong one, had wobbly legs and nearly slumped at the entrance of her own house. At the sight of the piles of items at the entrance, her father would not even have a place to stand when he arrived home after work. Shi Qing tugged the corners of her lips. Qiaonan, I'll persuade you again. Just quit school and become a teacher. Do you believe that when the results of our cohort are out, Principal Meng will surely be willing to obtain a pass to certify you as a qualified teacher and then make you work for the school as a teacher? It's fine even if you don't teach during normal times. As long as you spot questions for the third-year students before they take the college entrance examination, Principal Meng will also treat you the same way as he prays to the Buddha. As long as Qiaonan was around, she could attract outstanding junior high school graduates for Pingcheng High School and also help the school nurture outstanding senior high school graduates. Amazing. No room for talks on this. Qiaonan was dying from exhaustion. Of course, she could not ignore the satisfaction that filled her heart. There are so many things. Quickly bring them in. Otherwise, when your dad comes home after work, how is he going to enter the house? Also, I still have to prepare meals for my dad and mom later. You're still sending plain porridge to your mom? Shi Qing squinted and made faces at Jiaonan. During noon, when Jiaonan was preparing meals for Ding Jiyi, Shi Qing was unhappy and deliberately disturbed Jiaonan. Shi Qing was very healthy. Although she had known Jiaonan for 2 years, there was never a time that she was so sick that she required Jiaonan to take care of her. At the sight that Jiaonan was spending so much time and effort to prepare a pot of porridge for Ding Jiyi, Shi Qing so angry that she felt pain in her lungs. She only felt more at peace when she heard Jiaonan's explanation later. Having been mother and daughter for 2 lifetimes, Jiaonan understood Ding Jiyi too well. Ding Jiyi could treat her badly, but she had to treat Ding Jiyi perfectly well. Her mother would expect her to treat her similar to the treatment that her father received in the past, not just the same but better. Even if she did that, her mother would still be dissatisfied. She would only think it was expected of Jiaonan. Although Shi Qing felt that she had sincerely prepared the fragrant and thick porridge out of foolish filial piety, in her mother's eyes, she was being extremely unfilial and thus had to be struck by lightning and thunder. It would be a ghostly encounter if her mother was willing to eat the porridge that she sent to her. Sending this porridge would make her mother feel worse than if she did not. Moreover, not to mention that there were also the rice and dishes that she sent to her father as compliments. Jiaonan knew that she was not sending a bowl of porridge but a bowl of oil. Of course I'll send plain porridge. Anything more? No. Fine, I'll help you. After knowing how meaningful the porridge was, Shi Qing was still quite happy to join in the fun. Jiaonan had little strength and she was not as physically strong as Shi Qing. Shi Qing's physique was very strong and comparable to that of a young lad. Within a short time, she had already shifted everything into the house. Jiaonan, take a look. Is this a red packet? When they were shifting the items, Shi Qing found a red packet in the pile of items. When she opened it, there was quite a lot of money, 50 yuan. Quickly help search and see if there's more. Don't miss anything. Jiaonan had just forked out all her savings for her mother's medical condition. This sum of money. Although it was not enough for Jiaonan to pay the college tuition fees, it was better than nothing. Regardless of how small the mosquito was, it also had some meat. Jiaonan looked a little uneasy. To her surprise, these parents not only gifted her things but also red packets. If Shi Qing had not discovered it, she would have been completely unaware. After a round of search, the biggest red packet was 50 yuan and the smallest was about 20 yuan. There were actually not many big red packets with 50 yuan. Chapter 784. Very harsh on herself too. Hurry up and take them. There's living allowance now. As for the tuition fee, it was far from sufficient. Jiaonan grasped her head. Can I say that I don't really feel like taking them? Unfortunately, many people visited at the same time. It was so crowded and many just left behind the gifts and ran off. As such, Jiaonan completely did not know the corresponding families that gifted the respective items. She could not return them even if she wanted to. What do you intend to do then? Shi Qing was aware that they could not return the money even if they wished to. They were unable to find out clearly the amount of money given by the respective parties. If they were to check with them, would these people, who were determined to give away the money, respond and take the money back? The reason they gave these red packets was that their children fared so well and could get into the senior high school of their choice. Compared to the money that was needed to bribe the school into accepting their child as a student, the red packet given to Jiaonan was really of a negligible amount. Spending a small sum of money to avoid huge expenses, these parents had, in fact, gained a lot. After thinking, Jiaonan said, "There's only one way. Simply photocopy the notes that I made during my normal lesson time and send them to the students." The streaming to humanities and science classes would only happen in the second year. Hence, Jiaonan's notes of the first year of her high school studies would still be of use to these students. It could also be considered as returning the favor for the red packets. I think this method works. They're going to gain a lot more. Xiaonan's notes were much more useful than those textbooks and practice materials sold at bookstores. Any parents who were polite this time were smart. Coincidentally, all of the parents were smart. Xiaonan tidied up the money and placed it on Xiqing's study table. She then started to prepare meals for Xiao Dongliang and Ding Ji. Xiao Dongliang's dinner was of enough portions for him, and there were a variety of dishes. It was also well balanced in nutrition with both protein and vegetable dishes. It was excellent in terms of smell, look, and taste. As for Ding Ji, it was the same 100-year-old menu, a bowl of plain porridge that was so fragrant and thick. It settled. After packing the rice, dishes, and porridge into the lunch boxes, Xiaonan let out a sigh of relief. Xiqing wrung a handkerchief and passed it to Xiaonan. I'll go with you. No need. It's broad daylight. There's no need to be so exaggerating. Xiaonan shook her head. The hospital was not that far away. It was embarrassing to keep troubling Xiqing in this way. It's decided then. It's better to play safe, as you can't afford a single mishap. If a single strand of hair of yours goes missing, Brother Zai will chop my head off. Brother Zai was busy investigating the matter regarding the college entrance examination. He did not have time to take care of Xiaonan currently. If she did not take good care of Xiaonan during this time, Brother Zai would certainly not let her off. For the sake of her own little life, Xiqing had to follow Xiaonan closely. Don't forget the incident of Qiujianxi earlier. Both of us have encountered such exaggerated acts before. You have to learn to be obedient. Understand? There's a free bodyguard for me to utilize, so how can I say no? Xiaonan smiled, but there was a tinge of worry in her eyes. Undoubtedly, Xiao Zijin was certainly involved in the matter that happened during the college entrance examination. Besides Xiao Zijin, there had to be someone else. Xiao Zijin had joined forces with outsiders to deal with her. All of a sudden, Xiaonan did not know what to say. What great sin had she committed that Xiao Zijin had to deal with her jointly with outsiders? Were Xiao Zijin's brains leaking? Right, it has been 2 days. Have you thought about it? Who do you think is likely to have arranged what happened during the college entrance examination? My dad suspects that it has something to do with Qiujianxi. Someone who was so wealthy and petty. Qiujianxi was the only one with such an extreme character. Do you think it's possible that Qiujianxi found out about your relationship with Brother Zai, and that's why she spent so much money to deal with Xiaonan? It was worse than the earlier occasion where she hired a group of people to bash Xiaonan up. But Xiao Zijin doesn't know Qiujianxi. Xiaonan looked grim. Undoubtedly, Xiao Zijin had certainly done something about this matter. When Qiujianxi was creating trouble for me, Xiao Zijin had already left Pingcheng for some time. These two women did not even have a chance to meet each other, not to mention talking about my matters and dealing with me, as they were bound by hatred for a common enemy. When I think about it, it's more probable that Xiao Zijin would collaborate with Chen Jun and plot this. Chen Jun's father had not been promoted to police commissioner. Instead, he was stripped off his post as the deputy commissioner. Given Chen Jun's temper, he must be filled with hatred. He would investigate to the bottom of the matter the reason his father had been stripped off his post. Chen Jun had always known how to build connections with others. As long as someone could be of help to the Chen family, he would have the intention to befriend them. He would also not offend them. After assessing, she was the only one who had a greater conflict with Chen Jun. It's also true. Chen Jun knows the relationship between Brother Zai and you, so he is well aware that you don't have the ability to do anything to his father. But Brother Zai has. I feel depressed. Chen Jun's father had been stripped off his post due to valid reason and proof. Her father was so daring to accept bribes. If they didn't take his post away from him, whose posts were they going to take away? The Chinese government would not allow such a greedy woodworm to remain in the party. He was in the wrong, yet he still blamed it on others. Given the Zhai family's style of doing things, if the Chen family was open and honest in their dealings, Brother Zhai would definitely not do anything to malign others. Shi Qing was not pleased. There was a problem with the Chen family themselves, and the outcome would be the same regardless of who investigated them. Having a woodworm such as the Chen family would only smear the country's name and image. Brother Zhai discovered and destroyed them early. He had done a good deed for the party, citizens, and country. Qiao Nan smirked. If the Chen family had self-awareness and self-realization, would they be caught? They committed wrong, as that was the general trend of events. They were going with the flow. These officials help and protect one another. If everyone did the same thing and the Chen family insisted on honest dealings, they would be ostracized in the end. Since everyone did the same, why did they seek trouble with the Chen family and not others? Of course, the Chen family and Chen Jun were unhappy with this. There were certainly other government officials who were similar to the Chen family. The others had not fallen off the horse, but Chen Jun's father did. Would the Chen family feel at peace with this? Previously, Chen Jun wooed me because of ulterior motives, and Xiao Zijin had met him before. She even addressed him as Brother Chen affectionately then. Xiao Zijin knows that Chen Jun is the son of the deputy police commissioner, and she's quite interested in Chen Jun. Without me as the middleman, Xiao Zijin will certainly be able to find ways to get close to Chen Jun. I'm not surprised if the two of them join forces to deal with me. It's so complicated. Don't worry. Brother Zhai is investigating this. Anyone who did such things can't run away. Shi Qing's mind was getting entangled. There were too few clues and too many troubles. She could not find a clear line of thought. Right, you're so sure that Xiao Zijin was involved. How about your mom? She's so harsh on you. She's also harsh enough on herself. It was such a close shave, and that woman with the surname Ding would have died under wheels immediately. She would really have kicked the bucket. To use her own life to stop Qiao Nan from taking the college entrance examination, what kind of courage, and what kind of extreme lunacy was that? Chapter 785. Tell me nicely. I will listen. You think too much. My mom would definitely not jump in front of a moving car. She couldn't bring herself to do it. Xiao Zijin is still a student. She is in school and she has yet to have a boyfriend. She has not married, nor does she have any children. My mom couldn't bear to die. Are you saying that your mom has got nothing to do with this incident, or at least, she did not take the initiative to come up with this plan? Yes, but she may have played a passive role. Xiao Zijin. Yes. Ruthless. Shi Qing gave Xiao Zijin a thumbs up. She was full of admiration for Xiao Zijin. Does she want her mom to die? Her final goal was to stop Qiao Nan from sitting for the college entrance examination. Was her mother's life worthless to her? No, my mom has a higher value alive than being dead. You should have seen that my mom is still alive. No matter what, I just don't understand. By the way, how is the police investigation going regarding my mother's car accident? We have asked everyone involved. The owner of the car who hit your mother seems to be innocent. He did not speed, drive the reverse direction, or take the other lane. He owned a driver's license. Somebody reported that your mom dashed out onto the road and was knocked down by the car. The police officers spoke to your mom after she woke up. She said that when she was on the streets, she felt giddy from standing under the sun. Right before the accident, she felt as if she was pushed by someone from behind. That was how she ended up dashing onto the road. According to Qiao Nan's analysis, instead of dashing out onto the road, she believed it was more probable that Ding Jiyi had been pushed by someone. Although the owner did not violate the traffic rules, the accident did occur. The owner of the vehicle had to bear the responsibility. The driver's license was revoked and the vehicle was detained. He had to pay a fine of 1,000 yuan. It was sent to Uncle Chiao, who was at the hospital. However, given Ding Jiyi's injuries, 1,000 yuan was insufficient to cover for half the amount of her medical bills. It is better than nothing. Back when my dad was in a car accident, he did not receive any compensation. Although there is no way that I can get back the money that I gave to my dad, with this 1,000 yuan, our finances will not be so tight. At the very least, we do not need to fork out more money. Qiao Nan was optimistic. She was not as gloomy as Shi Cheng. Instead, she was able to look on the bright side of things. He. Shi Cheng smiled reluctantly. Under Qiao Nan's influence, she was not as gloomy and unhappy as before. Qiao Nan did not send the meals to Ding Jiyi's ward. Like what she did in the noontime, she asked a young nurse to pass the lunch box to the ward for her before leaving. Before she left, she took with her the lunch box that Qiao Dongliang left downstairs previously. Given Ding Jiyi's attitude, both Qiao Dongliang and Qiao Nan knew that Qiao Nan no longer wished to face Ding Jiyi or wait on her nicely while enduring her insults. The young nurse brought the lunch box to the ward. However, she felt that the food was wasted on Ding Jiyi. This porridge smells nice. It is better than the food at the hospital. Do you feel that it is a waste to give this good food to a mother like her? The other young nurse on the same shift smiled. Yes, indeed. However, it is their family affairs. That woman may not be a good person, but she is still the mother of that young lady. But it is indeed a waste of food, as the mother would complain and pick on the food. It's a shame. Everyone in the hospital was busy. However, they were glad that Ding Jiyi, who was so good at creating news, was at their hospital. With her around, they would be able to listen to a lot of gossip. It was fascinating to them. Therefore, although it was only Ding Jiyi's 4th day at the hospital, the doctors, nurses, and even the patients had heard about a lot of gossip regarding the Qiao family. What was interesting was that quite a lot of female patients or family members would use Ding Jiyi as an example to make their husbands see reasons. Look, that family has such a wife, yet the husband still treats the wife so nicely. The wife is in hospital and the husband still has to wait on her. You should count your blessings. If you married such a woman, you would not want to stay married to her. Perhaps Ding Jiyi served as a very good example. All the men who heard of her were thankful that their wives were unlike her. You are quite good to me. Let's lead a happy life from now on. Qiao Dongliang was the only unlucky person. His misfortune had helped all the other women in the hospital. However, the young nurse was wrong this time around. She had thought that Ding Jiyi would be picky with food, but she was wrong. When she handed the lunch box prepared by Qiao Nan to Qiao Dongliang, and he placed it in front of Ding Jiyi, not only did she not throw her temper or pick on the food, she even ate the food heartily. She finished the food quickly as if she was a pig that was reared in the pigsty. The nurse was stunned at this sight. Ding Jiyi finished the porridge in less than a minute. Old Qiao, I am still hungry. Can you give me some of your rice? Ding Jiyi, who had been hungry for a day, could finish one pig by herself. The small amount of porridge was insufficient for her. She kept staring at Qiao Dongliang's rice. You are still recovering from your injuries. The doctor and nurse have reminded me to give you light meals. You may not feel full now, but in a while, you will feel bloated. Qiao Dongliang refused to share with her the tasty dishes that Nan Nan prepared for him. He would never give her such tasty dishes. He remembered that back then, Ding Jiyi would always starve Nan Nan. She refused to give her nutritious food and would let her go hungry. Nan Nan suffered from malnutrition because of that. Now he could make use of this chance to make Ding Jiyi go through the same ordeal. She would not be given meat dishes and she would not be fed until she was full. I see, so this is the case. The young nurse came back to her senses. All right, I will make a move. Since you have had your meal, you must hurry to take your medicine for the night. It turned out that she was too hungry and had been starving. She had no strength to lose her temper. Hence, she had no choice but to finish the porridge. She almost thought that the patient had a change for the better and no longer had a nasty temper. Comrade nurse, I will wash the lunchbox and leave it at the lobby later. Sorry for bothering you. You're welcome. The young nurse was being very nice. She did not find it troublesome at all. After all, the lunchbox had been washed and it no longer smelled of food. It would be placed in the lobby. It only took up a small corner of the place that they worked at. It did not take up a lot of space. As medical personnel, it was their job to serve people. They would be glad to do the patients a favor as well. After the young nurse left, there was only dead silence in the ward. It was quiet between Jiao Dongliang and Ding Jiyi. Ding Jiyi looked at Jiao Dongliang several times. Old Jiao, do you intend to keep ignoring me? It is common for couples to quarrel. We can resolve our differences through more communication. If you feel that I have any shortcomings, you can tell me and I will change. What do you think? Couples may have quarrels but they patch up easily as well. We've been quarreling for more than 2 years. No matter how angry you are, you should have been appeased. I am not that unreasonable. You can tell me nicely, I will surely listen to what you have to say. Chapter 786 appeared at the right time. Ding Jiyi pondered throughout the night. She felt that Jiao Zijin must have her reasons for coming to the hospital but not visiting her and addressing her as her auntie. The reason why she was in a car accident was that Zijin wanted to sell the house. She and old Jiao were still married. The house belonged to the two of them. It was not suitable for her to sell the house by herself. If old Jiao learned about it, he would be angry at her again. If she brought this up, it would seem as if it was Zijin's fault that she was in a car accident. If Zijin was to appear right now, how was she going to explain to old Jiao? Old Jiao was biased toward that wretched girl. If he heard about this, Zijin would no longer have any place in old Jiao's heart. No matter what, Zijin still cared for her. Zijin was worried that old Jiao would blame her for the accident. If she was not worried about her, she would not have come to the hospital to check on her injuries. Ding Jiyi believed that Jiao Dongliang was the reason why Jiao Zijin did not visit her. Being the good mother that she was, Ding Jiyi had to think of ways to help Jiao Zijin solve her problem. In fact, Ding Jiyi meant what she said. Every woman in the world hoped that they would be able to lead a good life. Furthermore, Jiao Dongliang had been good to Ding Jiyi for the past 20 years. He would give her all the money that he earned, leaving nothing much for himself. In the past 2 years, Ding Jiyi had heard a lot about other people's married lives. She realized that Jiao Dongliang had been very good to her. There were not many good husbands like him anymore. Therefore, Ding Jiyi was sincere in patching up with him. Look, Zijin is in her 2nd year, while Jiao Nan will be in her 1st year of college when school starts. Our 2 daughters will soon marry in 2 years' time. As the elders, it will not be nice for us to keep on quarreling. If our in-laws see this, they will have a wrong impression of our family. Do you want to stand in the way of Zijin's and Nan Nan's future happiness? You are right. I really should think of Nan Nan's future. Nan Nan had a troublesome mother like Ding Jiyi. It would be very difficult for Nan Nan to be with Zai Sheng in the future. If he divorced Ding Jiyi, Nan Nan would stay with him and Ding Jiyi would definitely choose to stay with Jiao Zijin. By then, Ding Jiyi would not bring as much trouble to Nan Nan. Do you share my sentiments? There you go. I have said that I am not unreasonable. Old Jiao, let's make up. Zijin and Nan Nan will be going to college. They will not stay in Pingcheng. As the saying goes, when young couples turn old, they will be each other's companion. Our situation is the opposite. What's wrong with us? Let's stop our quarrel, shall we? Ding Jiyi no longer felt like staying angry with Jiao Dongliang. No matter how angry she was, Jiao Zijin and Jiao Nan were not the ones who took care of her when she was injured and hospitalized. When dawn broke, Ding Jiyi gazed at Jiao Dongliang, who was dozing off by the side. It dawned on her that the person who would spend the rest of their life with her would not be Jiao Nan or Jiao Zijin. It was Jiao Dongliang. Jiao Zijin was a good daughter and she would be filial to her. However, after Jiao Zijin was married, she would have her own family and children. By then, Jiao Zijin would not possibly neglect her husband and children for her sake. Jiao Zijin might be filial, but Jiao Dongliang was the only person who would stay by her side, leading a simple life with her and taking care of her when she was sick. It was too much to lose to give up her husband for Jiao Nan, that unfilial wretched girl. At most, she would keep quiet when old Jiao was being nice to Jiao Nan. Jiao Nan would no longer be an eyesore to her after she married and left the family. They would not get to see each other often. In that case, it would not be long before she would no longer have to live with Jiao Nan. Stop making trouble. Jiao Dongliang asked sarcastically. Ding Jiyi thought that Jiao Dongliang was asking for her affirmation. Yes, I will not make any trouble for her again. I promise you I will really behave myself. Nan Nan is my daughter. I love her deeply. That is why I want to correct her when she is in the wrong. It is just that I have high expectations of her. Didn't you used to say that spare the rod and spoil the child? Look at how outstanding Nan Nan is now. It proves that we are right to be strict with her. All right. It takes at least 3 months for the injuries to the bones and tendons to recover. You should be resting instead of talking. You should lie down on the bed. Jiao Dongliang wanted Ding Jiyi to rest more lest she made more shameless and outrageous comments. Ding Jiyi blushed. Old Jiao, are you concerned for me? I am worried about your injuries. You should rest so that you can recover soon. Old Jiao, you are very kind to me. You can rest assured that I will definitely have a good rest. If Jiao Nan is here, I will not pick on her anymore. She had just reconciled with old Jiao. She would not quarrel with old Jiao because of that wretched girl. She did not want to threaten each other with divorce anymore. Now that Ding Jiyi decided to behave herself, Jiao Dongliang, who had been suppressing his anger, went to the corridor to take a walk. He hoped Ding Jiyi would make a speedy recovery so that he could bring up divorce to her. Jiao Dongliang was very clear that it would be difficult to keep Jiao Nan's relationship with Zai Sheng from Miao Jing for long. Miao Jing rarely chatted with Jiao Dongliang, but during the times when they had a chat, he could tell that Miao Jing did not like Ding Jiyi. Undoubtedly, Ding Jiyi would be the stumbling block to the relationship between Jiao Nan and Zai Sheng. It would be harder for them to get Miao Jing's approval. Jiao Dongliang felt vexed at the thought of that. Although he did not have the habit of smoking, he wished to smoke like what others did to drive his worries away. Jiao Dongliang smiled bitterly at himself. When the family was in better financial condition, he did not have the habit of smoking. Right now, he did not even have the money to send Nan Nan to college, yet he was thinking of smoking. How ridiculous he was. Jiao Dongliang could feel the heavy burden on his shoulder. He used to have a tall and upright frame. Although he was only in his early 40s, he seemed to be hunching under the immense pressure, looking desolate from the back. It was the 5th day since the incident that happened during the college entrance examination. Zai Sheng went to the Shi family's residence to look for Jiao Nan. As soon as Shi Qing saw Zai Sheng, she took an apple and was about to walk away. Zai Sheng stopped her. It's all right. I will chat with Nan Nan next door. The Jiao family's residence was right next to the Shi family's residence. Shi Qing, who had already taken a bite of the apple, watched helplessly as Zai Sheng pulled Jiao Nan away. After a long while, she ranted in anger. Hey, You are not even giving me a chance to eavesdrop, are you? Back at the Chiao family's residence, Chiao Nan poured water for Zai Sheng. Brother Zai, you have come at the right time. Actually, I always wanted to ask how you managed to be there in the nick of time. I remember you had many soldiers with you as well. If Brother Zai was late by 3 minutes, she would not be able to enter the examination hall. Su Tingting would be thrilled. The journey from the army camp to Pingcheng High School was quite long. It would take more than an hour's drive. Chapter 787 could have been someone else. Therefore, even if Zai Sheng rushed to Pingcheng High School as soon as he received the news, it would be impossible for him to reach the school before the college entrance examination started. He would not be able to make way for Chiao Nan so that she could be in time to sit for the college entrance examination. Chiao Nan was glad that Zai Sheng arrived in the nick of time. He was like her guardian angel. Whenever she was in trouble, he would show up at the right time, saving her from the crisis. However, there were more troubles to come. I have indeed received some information ahead of time. Zai Sheng did not intend to keep it from Nan Nan. She was a sensitive person. Except for being perceptive in relationships, she was very much aware of what was going on around her. Zai Sheng had never thought of keeping things from her. Someone in the army told me. In the army? Chiao Nan was baffled. Why would someone in the army know about something that happened in Pingcheng and was able to tell Brother Zai in advance? It is impossible for people in the army to be involved in this matter. That could not be. The people in the army would never do anything that would endanger the stability of the country and disrupt the social order. Of course. No one in the army participated in this incident. It is just that someone received news of it in advance. Who? Now that Chiao Nan knew more about it, she was all the more curious about who informed Zai Sheng in advance. I don't know if you have any impression of Qian Yan. In fact, if not for this matter, Zai Sheng would not have known Qian Yan. There were so many people in the army. Zai Sheng was not responsible for training all the soldiers, let alone the female soldiers that were the military performers in the army. I have no impression of her. Chiao Nan shook her head. Apart from Song Yin, she had no impression of other soldiers in the army. When you went to the army camp to conduct English classes, she only attended Chiu Chenexai's class. She even acted as Chiu Chenexai's teaching assistant. Oh, I have some impression of her. She was the person who gave me the information. Zai Sheng continued. Not only did she tell me that something would happen during the college entrance examination, but she also confessed her wrong deeds in the past. She was the one who stole your lesson plans and gave it to Chiu Chenexai. Does it mean Chiu Chenexai had something to do with what happened this time? Chiu Chenexai must have found out about her relationship with Brother Zai. Yes. Zai Sheng narrowed his eyes like a predatory bird at the mention of Chiu Chenexai. He was worried that he would scare Chiao Nan off with the ferocious look in his eyes. He had already taught the Chiu family a harsh lesson. It was a pity that Chiu Chenexai had yet to learn how to behave herself. She was still not content with what she had. Who was the person who told her? The first thing that Chiao Nan thought of was who told Chiu Chenexai of her relationship with Zai Sheng. If no one had not told her, she would not have known the truth. When she was in high school, she did not have much contact with Brother Zai. She had to study, whereas Brother Zai spent a lot of time in the army. During the rare times that they met, they never showed any affection for each other in public. According to Chiu Chenexai's and her mother's mentality, as long as she maintained her standards and had good results, Chiu Chenexai would never suspect that she was Brother Zai's girlfriend. Wait a minute. Among those who know that we are together, Chiao Nan had a sudden headache. There were not many people who knew that she was in a relationship with Brother Zai. Most of them were on good terms with her. Who do you have in mind? Zai Sheng had the same sentiments. He felt that someone must have told Chiu Chenexai about his relationship with Chiao Nan. That was why Chiu Chenxi took things so far this time. Previously, Chiu Chenxi had always thought lightly of Jiaonan. She did not see her as her opponent. If she found out that the person whom she despised had the man that she desperately wanted, a haughty Chiu Chenxi would not be able to take it lying down. She would not let Jiaonan off. She would use all means and methods to hurt Jiaonan. She would not care that she would be in a dire situation. She would do all she could to bring about Jiaonan's downfall. Jiaonan clasped her forehead, thinking hard. Let me think about it. Let me think it through. Her father and Chief Zai would never do such things. As for Shi Qing and her father, it was impossible for them to hurt her as well. Oh, yes, I remember. There is another person who knows our relationship. Do you mean Chen Jun? Yes, it's Chen Jun. Jiaonan slammed the table. When Shi Qing asked me if I have any suspects in mind, I never thought of Chiu Chenxi. That was because she did not know Jiao Zijin. But it is a different story with Chen Jun. Jiao Zijin knows Chen Jun. Chen Jun's father used to be the deputy police commissioner at the police station. However, he has been stripped off that position because of the two of us. If Chen Jun knows the truth, although he may not be able to deal with you, he is able to come at me. Given the social standing that the Chiu family used to have, it is easy to contact Chiu Chenxi. Besides, Chiu Qin has been transferred to a faraway place, taking up the position of a low-ranking official. On top of that, Zheng Chenggong and his son, Zheng Liang, had been transferred to Pingcheng. They had taken up the positions that Chiu Qin and Chen Jun's father used to hold. Therefore, even if Chiu Qin and Chen Jun's father had outstanding performances and were able to transfer back to Pingcheng, there were no more suitable positions for them. They had no intention to take up other positions as well. They were in an awkward situation. Brother Zai, do you think that it could have been Chen Jun? There is a possibility that it was him. Zai Sheng sighed helplessly. Nan Nan was trying to absolve Zai Hua from guilt. Zai Hua had been in a strained relationship with the Zai family because of Weida. Due to her job, she had to spend a lot of time in the army. On the rare occasions that she was back, she would not go back to the Zai family's residence. Instead, she would stay at the house that Weida bought. Weida paid for the house. However, the property title deed had Weida's and Zai Hua's names on it. To Zai Hua, the house belonged to Weida and her. In this case, Zai Hua might have been the person who told Chiu Chenxi the truth. I believe it should be the case. Brother Zai, you can do some investigations. If Chen Jun is involved, it will not be difficult to find out if he has been contacting Chiu Chenxi. I know what you are thinking of. There was a moment I doubted her as well. It is true that Sister Zai Hua used to target me because of Weida. However, Sister Zai Hua will always tell me in the face if she is angry or dissatisfied with me. It is unlike her to do things in the dark. If Sister Zai Hua was the person who told Chiu Chenxi the truth, it would mean that Brother Zai had been betrayed by his sister. If this was the truth, it would only drive a wedge between Brother Zai and Sister Zai Hua. I believe that Zai Hua would not do that in the past. However, Zai Hua was no longer the Zai Hua that he knew. She had changed a lot because of Weida. He could hardly recognize her anymore. Don't think too much. No matter what, you should start investigating Chen Jun. It could have been our groundless worries. Jiao Nan patted Zai Sheng's hands, trying to comfort him. I hope so. Chapter 788 Cause the downfall of oneself. It would be best if it was Chen Jun. He could go all out to deal with him. But once Zai Hua was embroiled into this, it would become troublesome and complicated. Things would become sensitive. Jiao Nan could tell that Zai Sheng was in a bad mood. She hurried to change the topic. I don't have much impression of Jian Yanyan, but I remembered that she would always be by Chiu Chenxi's side. I heard from Shiqing that she had asked to get Qiu Jinxai's belongings from the army. The military performers were considered soldiers as well. If not, Qiaonan had wanted to describe Jianyanyan as Qiu Jinxai's lackey. Besides, it was Jianyanyan who informed Zai Sheng of what was going to happen at Pingcheng. And hence he was able to reach in time and help Qiaonan. Qiu Jinxai let slip of her tongue. Qiaonan only spent less than a month during the summer break to conduct English classes at the camp. However, even after she left the army camp, the soldiers would still bring up teacher Xiao Qiao in their conversations. This was due to the great success of Song Yin. After Song Yin accomplished military achievements, he was promoted to platoon leader. The political commissar felt that Song Yin was a talent, was conscientious, and had a good learning attitude. He helped him apply a year off to participate in training courses to upgrade his skills. In addition to his interests in English, Song Yin was very skilled in shooting. His aim was very accurate. Song Yin's proficiency in English improved greatly after taking part in the training courses. He was able to read foreign publications with the help of a dictionary. Since Song Yin had outstanding performance in shooting and firearms, and he had the abilities and intelligence, he became the new blood in the camp. In addition, the army had the intention to train and groom new talents. Since Song Yin had outstanding performance, he was one of the soldiers that the army was going to groom. In the past, Wei De used to dream of rising through the ranks in the army. It only took Song Yin more than 1 year's time to attain half of his unachievable goals. He was almost promoted to deputy company commander already. It was because of Qiaonan who changed the trajectory of Song Yin's life. Although Qiaonan only taught him for less than a month, it was Qiaonan who introduced him to the English language, and it was because of her that Song Yin could have the chance of a lifetime. As Song Yin's success story became widely known in the camp, teacher Xiao Qiao would always come up in the soldiers' conversations. All of the soldiers were proud that they were taught by teacher Xiao Qiao and had attended her classes. Usually, when people committed mistakes, they would have a guilty conscience. Qianyanyan might have a guilty conscience, but if Qiaonan was no longer brought up in the army, she would have forgotten about what she had done in a few months or a few years' time. However, the soldiers kept bringing up teacher Xiao Qiao. As a result, Qianyanyan was tormented by the mistakes she had committed in the past. She was worried that someone would discover what she had done and bring up the old scores again. If the army discovered it, they might kick her out of the camp. Back then, Qiu Jinxai would use this to threaten Qianyanyan. It had become a nightmare to Qianyanyan. Whenever she heard the mention of teacher Xiao Qiao, Qianyanyan would become very sensitive and she would be on tenterhooks. Those around her noticed that she was behaving strangely. But whenever they asked her about it, she would keep her silence. Qianyanyan could not wait to forget everything that happened in the past. She hoped that she could turn back time and stop herself from doing such silly stuff. But her wish did not come true. Instead, she received a call from Qiu Jinxai. When Qianyanyan learned that the phone call was from Qiu Jinxai, she almost pretended that she was sick. "What is? Is something the matter? Why do you sound strange? Are you sick?" Qiu Jinxai had no idea that Qianyanyan was trying to distance herself from her, and that she was unwilling to answer her phone call. She thought that Qianyanyan was unwell. Qianyanyan cleared her throat. "I am slightly unwell, so I have to go back early to rest." "What is the matter?" During the conversation, Qianyanyan covered the mouthpiece of the phone for fear that Qiu Jinxai would say anything outrageous and it would be overheard by someone else. "How is Brother Zai recently? Is he in the camp? Will he go back to the Zai family's residence tomorrow?" Qiu Jinxai wanted to be sure of Zai Sheng's whereabouts before she started her plan. She knew that Qiaonan would sit for the college entrance examination tomorrow. Since Zai Sheng valued Qiaonan so much, he might go back to Pingcheng to provide moral support for her while she sat for the college entrance examination. If this was the case, regardless of Chen Jun's plan, Zai Sheng would have a way to make sure that Jiao Nan sat for the college entrance examination. In the beginning, Qian Yanyan still did not understand what Qiu Zhenxi meant. Regiment Commander Zai is in the army. I have not heard of any news that he is taking leave. Is that so? That's good. This meant that even if Brother Zai received wind of what happened in Pingcheng, it would be too late by the time he arrived at Pingcheng. Qiu Zhenxi only had one simple goal. Jiao Nan had good results, and she usually scored full marks for most of her subjects. To Qiu Zhenxi, this was the best scenario. Regardless of Jiao Nan's good performance, if she missed the exam for one of the subjects, she would not be able to get into a good college. On the other hand, if Jiao Nan did very well for all the other subjects, she would feel all the more dejected and angry at failing to qualify for the good colleges. Therefore, Qiu Zhenxi had made up her mind. She would use the morning to stop Jiao Nan from sitting for the exam of one of the subjects. People believed in having a good start to things. If Jiao Nan could not start off well for the exams and even failed to sit for the exams, no matter how much effort she put in for the remaining subjects, her performances would definitely be affected. What is good about it? Qiu Zhenxi, what are you up to again? Do you want to scheme against teacher Xiao Jiao? Qian Yanyan was truly fearful of Qiu Zhenxi. Why did she keep coming after her? Teacher Xiao Jiao. Didn't you used to say that she is merely a high school student? She is not qualified to be a teacher. She is not even qualified to study in a good college. How can she be someone else's teacher? It's ridiculous. Impossible. I heard from other people that teacher Xiao Jiao has good grades. She always comes in the first place in the level at her school. She should have no problem in going to one of the colleges in the capital. Even if Qiu Zhenxi did not like teacher Xiao Jiao, she should not fabricate lies about her. Don't say this to other people in the army. If they hear of this, you will get into trouble. Humph. What is wrong? Don't you believe me? If you don't believe it, we shall see if I am telling the truth. You must keep a lookout for the news the day after tomorrow. You will understand and believe what I said. All right, I have nothing else to say. I will hang up now. But before I hang up, let me remind you. Don't address Jiao Nan so affectionately as teacher Xiao Jiao. Chapter 789 Outsmart Oneself. She has never taught you. Instead, you have stolen from her. If someone else or Jiao Nan knows about it, you should know what will happen. You treat her as a teacher, but will she treat you as her student? Qiu Zhenxi felt annoyed that Jian Yanyan addressed Jiao Nan as teacher Xiao Jiao. Since she was annoyed, other people had to suffer with her. The first person would be Jian Yanyan. Beep. 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 Jian Yanyan wanted to rebut her. She wanted to tell her not to go overboard. Back then, she stole teacher Xiao Jiao's lesson plans for her sake. How could she be so ungrateful? However, before Jian Yanyan had the chance to speak, the arrogant Qiu Zhenxi had hung up on her. After hanging up the phone, Jian Yanyan felt extremely uneasy. From the conversation just now, she felt that Qiu Zhenxi seemed to be after Jiao Nan again. She knew that it was not a secret that Qiu Zhenxi called her today. Regiment Commander Zai and teacher Xiao Jiao were on good terms. Even if Qiu Zhenxi succeeded with her plans, Regiment Commander Zai might find out that she was behind it. Qiu Zhenxi had the Qiu family to help her while she had no one on her side. If Regiment Commander Zai found out about her conversation with Qiu Zhenxi today, and that she hid important information from him, he might give her a demerit and ask her to leave the army. Qian Yanyan was in a fix. She did not know if she should come clean with Zai Sheng. The next morning, when the sky was still dark, Qian Yanyan was startled awake by a nightmare. She hurried to wear her clothes and dashed to Zai Sheng's dormitory. She told him everything and confessed to him that she stole Qiaonan's lesson plans and gave them to Qiu Chenxi. Instead of being threatened by Qiu Chenxi, she would rather come clean and ask that he gave her a second chance. Qiu Chenxi made the phone call so as to check with Jianyanyan regarding Zai Sheng's whereabouts. She wanted to be sure that Zai Sheng would not disrupt her plans or help Qiaonan so that she could make plans in advance. She did not know that she had outsmarted herself in the end because of that phone call, and Zai Sheng came to know about her plan in advance. She did not expect that Jianyanyan would decide to come clean because of her constant threats. Qiaonan curled the corners of her lips. In the end, it was because of Qiu Chenxi's phone call that I was able to sit for the exams for all the subjects without any hitches. She might have plotted against me, but she has helped me inadvertently as well. If she knows about it, will she boil in anger? Zai Sheng held Qiaonan's hands. She asked for it. He was going to make her pay double, or even triple for it. Indeed. Qiaonan did not deny it. Qiu Chenxi had used all means and methods to seek revenge on her. How much money has she spent in order to stop me from sitting for the college entrance examination? If we do not count those that did not get paid, she has probably spent 2,000 to 3,000 yuan. One would need money to hire people to help her. The first group of people was hired by her henchmen. The second group of people was gathered by the first group of people. Everyone in the second group would be paid 10 yuan of down payment in advance. The first group of people gathered a lot of people to join them. Every one of them would at least gather 5 other people. The 50 yuan that they received would not be enough for them to use. Therefore, they would ask for more money from Qiu Chenxi's henchmen. Qiu Chenxi was bent on stopping Qiaonan from sitting for the exam. She was not concerned about the money that she had to pay them. She had given everyone in the second group a down payment of 10 yuan. Apart from giving 10 yuan to the second group of people as down payment, the first group of people also demanded a down payment of 20 yuan. As a result, Qiu Chenxi had spent a huge sum of money even before the actual day. Oh, it's good to have money. She was worried sick for her college fees, yet Qiu Chenxi had so much money to squander. Everyone has a different life. It is no use to envy others. I have checked with the nurse. On the day we saw Xiao Zijin, she did not visit my mom and dad. She slipped away halfway. From Xiao Zijin's behavior, it proved that she knew beforehand that her mother would be in a car accident. Zai Sheng frowned. What about your mom? In my mother's eyes, Xiao Zijin will always be the best child in the world. She is the most obedient, sensible, and caring daughter. The car accident is just an accident. How can she blame it on the innocent Xiao Zijin? Even if you presented her with a lot of evidence, she will say that you have fabricated the evidence. This was her mother. Zai Sheng sneered. He tightened his grip on Qiaonan's hands. Never twice without 3 times. Even if she did not die from the accident that Xiao Zijin planned, she has suffered greatly because of her. Her rib bones had pierced into her lungs. It was sheer torture. This time, she was seriously injured. If something similar happens again, she may not be so lucky. She may die in the hands of Xiao Zijin. Believe it or not, if my mom is really dead and it is true that one will turn into a ghost after one dies, she will come into my dreams and blame me for her death. Qiaonan knew Ding Jiyi very well, and she had lost all hopes that Ding Jiyi would change for the better. She did not care what her mother and Xiao Zijin were up to. They had better not implicate others, and in particular, it was best that they left her alone. Qiaonan brushed over the topic of her mother and her sister as if they were not related to her. Zai Sheng's heart ached that she had to go through all these sufferings. He wished that he could gift Qiaonan with his sincerest heart. He held her in a tight embrace, showing her that he was willing to do anything for her. Qiaonan felt a chill inside her at the mention of her mother and her sister. However, now that Zai Sheng held her in his embrace, the chill was gone. She blushed and buried her head in his embrace, feeling safe and assured in his arms. "Brother Zai, thankfully, you stayed by my side to support me and take care of me. Otherwise, I really don't know whether I could last until today. I often wonder whether I have become weak and delicate with you by my side. You have been helping me and sheltering me from hardships. Without you, would I be able to shrug it off and study for another year should I not make it in time for the college entrance examination? But no matter how I think about it, I would rather that I am weak so that you will always be by my side." Only one in love would feel this sense of vulnerability and uncertainty. She always knew that no matter what difficulties and troubles she encountered, Brother Zai would always stand by her side. He would be like a towering tree that sheltered her from the wind and rain. He would be her pillar of support. And he would not allow anyone to bully her. Chapter 790. Zai Sheng is a veteran. This kind of happiness was something that she had never experienced in her previous life. Qiao Nan felt especially grateful and blessed to experience it in this lifetime, and she cherished it very much. "Are you really that grateful to me?" There was a sparkle in Zai Sheng's eyes. One of his hands was around Qiao Nan's shoulders and the other was holding onto her tiny waist. It was seldom that Qiao Nan was willing to hug him on her own accord. This was something that Zai Sheng had been yearning for all this while. Although Qiao Nan's mood was not particularly good at this moment, Zai Sheng did not decline. One would not be a man if he were to reject during such times. "Yes." Qiao Nan replied with certainty. Her tiny head even gave Zai Sheng a nudge while she was in his arms. This movement nearly unleashed that evil gush of fire that had been deeply contained in Zai Sheng's heart. Zai Sheng took a deep breath as he breathed in the fragrance of Qiao Nan's hair that was uniquely hers. "If you are really that grateful to me, then promise me one thing." "What?" "Let me give you a kiss." Over these 3 to 4 years, he had watched the fruit that he had been guarding mature gradually day by day. It had become fragrant that it could overwhelm one's senses. That fruity smell of it was so tempting and it exuded an irresistible charm all over, as if sweet and fragrant juice would drip out of it at any point in time. Zai Sheng had been thinking every year, month, and day of his life when he could pounce on and take a real bite out of it to relieve his temptation. Qiao Nan had not reached 18 years of age back then and was only a senior high school student. Certainly, as a soldier, Zai Sheng could not bring himself to lay his hands on her. Now, Qiao Nan was an adult and her nominal age was almost 20 years old. In Chinese law, she was an independent individual who was allowed to act on her own legally. That wolf heart of Zai Sheng that had been tempted for many years could not wait any further. He held on to Qiao Nan's neck and immediately kissed her. This was the second kiss between Qiao Nan and Zai Sheng. There was a gap of 2 years between this and their earlier kiss. In consideration of this, it was not wrong to say that Zai Sheng had been a gentleman and he was akin to Lu Ziawai. Only heaven knew the countless times Zai Sheng had dreamed about that sweet moment during these 2 years. He was so immersed in the dream each time that he was reluctant to wake up. However, when the sun was up the next day, Zai Sheng's biological clock did not allow him to wake up late. At those moments, Zai Sheng had to face an embarrassing situation whereby his pants needed a wash as they were stained with countless seedlings of his offspring. Today, it was seldom that Qiao Nan would express so much of her feelings. As an observant and sharp soldier, Zai Sheng's advances were as strong and rapid as a leopard. He gave a firm bite on his prey first to satisfy his hunger. There was a buzzing sound in Qiao Nan's mind and she could not regain her senses for a long time. This was the house of the Qiao family and only Qiao Nan and Zai Sheng were in the house. It was unlike the previous time whereby there were concerns about being discovered by others. Hence, Qiao Nan did not have any intention to struggle. That searing and hot kiss of Zai Sheng seemed like it could devour a human. It made Qiao Nan feel as if she would be eaten alive by Zai Sheng at any point in time. Clearly, during the first time, Zai Sheng's kiss also felt like it could devour a human, but it was so amateurish and shy. This time, his skills were simply akin to a veteran player that had played many games with no strings attached. Faced with such a situation, Xiao Nan, who did not have much of such experience in her 2 lifetimes, failed and surrendered repeatedly. She was completely defeated. With those superb skills of Zai Sheng, it was only until when Xiao Nan felt a tear and slight pain in her mouth that she came to her senses and pushed him away. When Zai Sheng let go of Xiao Nan, he was panting heavily. As a soldier, it was needless to say that Zai Sheng's lung capacity was strong. He would not feel breathless even if he were to hug and kiss Xiao Nan for another hour. At this moment, he was overwhelmed by the feeling of his body's little soldier troops standing. "Brother Zai, you're too exaggerating." Xiao Nan glanced at the clock on the wall. Her face, which was initially flustered, turned even redder. It was just a kiss, but it lasted 20 minutes. At the thought of this duration, Xiao Nan bit her lip shyly. It felt so painful that she had to continuously take deep breaths. Tisk. Why? Zai Sheng, who had been taking a few more deep breaths to extinguish that inner fire of his, rushed over when he heard Xiao Nan panting. Xiao Nan wanted to cry, but she had no tears. "My lips are broken." What else could it be? Not only her lips were broken, but Xiao Nan also felt that both her lips and tongue did not belong to her. That feeling of numbness could not seem to go away. Zai Sheng looked at Xiao Nan. That pinkish, tender, and tiny mouth of Xiao Nan was swollen and red currently. The skin on the lips was torn. Zai Sheng smiled proudly and pulled Xiao Nan into his arms firmly. "It's okay. I'll take note in the future. After all, I'm not experienced in this, and there will be inevitable misses where I don't use the correct amount of strength. It won't be like this after a few more tries." A few more tries. Did she still want her mouth? "Your nominal age is 20 years and you're 18 years old now. In other words, let alone a few more kisses, it should not be a problem even if he and Xiao Nan were to do something that adults do." Xiao Nan was so furious that she banged her head onto Zai Sheng's chest. "You know that I'm not thick-skinned, but you deliberately said all these. Do you believe that I won't let you do this again?" Zai Sheng raised his brows and did not retort. One must know that, to him, talks were never better than actions. Instead of talking, he would prefer doing. Xiao Nan rolled her eyes badly. Was it true that, regardless of how gentle a man was, he would become indecent in front of the woman that he loved? "Brother Zai, I can't continue to chat with you. Regardless of whether I'm happy or willing, the one lying in the hospital is my mom. I can't ignore this. Moreover, I definitely can't let my dad starve." It was time for Xiao Nan to prepare lunch for Xiao Dongliang and Ding Jiyi. "Fine, go ahead and prepare the meals. Remember to prepare for the 2 of us as well. I'll send you to the hospital later." Zai Sheng let go of his hands and Xiao Nan finally left Zai Sheng's arms. "Okay." Xiao Nan nodded. "But the ingredients are in the house of the Shi family. I don't have them here." "That's fine too. Then, prepare the meals at the Shi family's residence." Zai Sheng stood up and led Xiao Nan to the house of the Shi family, which was located next door. Shi Qing, who happened to come out while chewing an apple, arched her brows in puzzlement when she saw that the 2 of them had come back before an hour. It was only when she saw Xiao Nan enter the kitchen to prepare food and Zai Sheng sitting in the living room and watching the news on television that she lifted the corners of her lips. So, they treated the house of the Shi family as the kitchen. Unfortunately, with Zai Sheng around, Shi Qing dared not say anything despite her anger. She had to abidingly shrink her shoulders and continue to chew on her apple. Even though the news channel was obviously something that she did not like, she could only sit by the side and pretended to watch it. The only one who could turn Shi Qing the tigress into a house cat was Zai Sheng. It was hard to find the second person who could do so in the world. Ring. 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 The phone in the Shi family rang and Shi Qing picked it up. "Hello, good day. I'm Shi Qing. Who are you?" "It's me, A sullen and depressed voice of a man could be heard from the other side of the phone. Obviously, he was in a very bad mood.